Hi everyone and welcome to Lipstick on a Rig. Today we're going to be making this very simple summer beanie. And for this project I'm going to use size 4 medium weight acrylic yarn, and this is just the Big Twist Value brand and the color is mustard. I'll also be using a size F or 5 or 3.75 millimeter crochet hook. And if you haven't already, then please check out my precursor to this video, and that is my How to Crochet a Beanie Brim, and I will link to that in the description below. And for that precursor video, I crocheted a brim that is 3 stitches deep and roughly 18 inches wide. And I crocheted the 2 edges of my brim together like I show you how to do in that precursor video. So from here, I'm going to turn my brim inside out. And I also sectioned my brim off into 4 equal parts using scrap yarn. And I am going to work over my tail. You don't have to do this, it is just an option that you have. And so to begin this next row, we're going to chain 1, and we're going to try to place 88 single crochets along the edge of our brim. So we're basically going to try to get 22 single crochets in each of our 4 sections. And we're just going to be working in the top portion of our brim in these available loops. So what you're going to do is you're going to insert your crochet hook in the available loops and then draw your tail over that stitch like that. And we're going to yarn over and drop the tail and the loop, and then we're going to drop the last 2 loops. And we're just going to repeat that for 88 stitches along the edge of our brim. And once you have your 88 single crochets along the edge of your brim, then you're going to skip your chain and slip stitch into the top of your first single crochet stitch. And for our next row, we're going to chain 3. And from here, we're going to skip 3 stitches, and in our 4th stitch, we're going to place a triple crochet. So to do that, yarn over twice and insert your crochet hook in that 4th stitch. Yarn over and draw up through that stitch, then yarn over and drop 2 loops at a time until you finish the stitch. Next, we're going to chain 3 again. And we're going to yarn over twice like we're working our triple crochet, and then we're going to insert our crochet hook back up underneath that same stitch where we just worked. We're going to insert our crochet hook up underneath that stitch and yarn over and draw up through that stitch. Yarn over and drop 2 loops, yarn over and drop 2 loops, and when 2 loops remain on our crochet hook, we're going to yarn over twice and then skip 3 loops again. And in our 4th loop, we're going to insert our crochet hook. Then we're going to yarn over and draw up through that stitch. Yarn over and drop 2 loops at a time until 3 loops remain on our crochet hook. Then we're going to yarn over and drop all 3 loops. And we're just going to go ahead and repeat that over and over and over again. So I'll go ahead and show you how to do that again. So for the repeatable part of our pattern, we're going to chain 3. Yarn over twice, and then insert our crochet hook up underneath that same stitch where we've already worked. Next, we're going to yarn over and draw up through that stitch, yarn over and drop 2 loops, and then yarn over and drop 2 more loops. And when 2 loops remain on your crochet hook, you're going to yarn over twice, and then you're going to skip 3 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, and in that 4th stitch, you're going to insert your crochet hook and yarn over and draw up through that stitch. Then you're going to yarn over and drop 2 loops until 3 loops remain on your crochet hook. From here, we're going to yarn over and drop all 3 loops. And then we're just going to keep repeating that over and over and over again until we get to the end of our row. And I'm going to show you how to place this last stitch of the row. So go ahead and chain 3. And then we're going to yarn over twice and insert our crochet hook back up underneath that same stitch we just worked. We're going to yarn over and pull up through that stitch, and then we're going to yarn over and drop 2 loops at a time until 2 loops remain on our crochet hook. And from here, we're going to yarn over twice, and then we're going to skip those last 3 stitches, and we're going to insert our crochet hook in that 4th stitch. Yarn over and pull up through that stitch, and then we're going to yarn over and drop 2 loops at a time until 3 loops remain on our crochet hook. Then we're going to yarn over and drop all 3 loops. From here we're going to chain 3, and then we're going to slip stitch into the top of our first triple crochet right here. And the pattern for the next row is to chain 3, and then we are going to yarn over twice and place a triple crochet up underneath the next peak right here. And from here we're going to begin the repeatable part of our pattern. So we're going to chain 3, and then we're going to yarn over twice, and we're going to insert our crochet hook back up underneath this same peak where we just worked. Yarn over and pull up through that peak, and then we're going to yarn over and drop 2 loops at a time until 2 loops remain on our crochet hook. And then we're going to yarn over twice and insert our crochet hook back up underneath that next peak right here. Then we're going to yarn over and pull up through that peak and yarn over and drop 2 loops at a time until 3 loops remain on our crochet hook. And then we're going to yarn over and drop all 3 loops. And then from there, we're just going to repeat that over and over and over again until we get to the end of our row. And I'll show you how to make the last stitch of this row. So go ahead and chain 3 and then yarn over twice and insert your crochet hook back underneath that same peak where you just worked. Yarn over and pull up through that peak, and then yarn over and drop 2 loops at a time until only 2 loops remain on your crochet hook. And when 2 loops remain on your crochet hook, you're going to yarn over twice and then insert your crochet hook back up underneath this first peak where you worked previously in the row. So right here. Yarn over and pull up through that peak, and then yarn over and drop 2 loops at a time until 3 loops remain on your crochet hook. Then yarn over and drop all 3 loops. And from here you're going to chain 3, and then you're going to slip stitch into the top of your first triple crochet right here. And from here you're just going to repeat that last row over and over and over again to build the body of your beanie. And I went ahead and repeated that last row a total of 9 times, and so now my beanie looks like this. And you can crochet this to as many rows as you want depending on how slouchy you want your beanie. So once you have your 9 additional rows in place, then we are going to cinch this hole at the top of our beanie. And so in order to do that, we're going to insert our crochet hook in the top portion of our first peak here. We're going to yarn over and pull up through that peak. And we're just going to repeat that process for the next 4 peaks after that. And once you have your 5 peaks on your crochet hook, then draw the loop of that 5th peak up underneath all the loops on your crochet hook, just like this. And then we're going to tighten that nice and tight. And so now we're just going to repeat that process again, working up underneath our next 5 peaks, and then we're going to draw up through all the loops on our crochet hook. So go ahead and repeat that until you get to the end of your row. And when you get toward the end of your row, go ahead and make sure that you've worked in the top of all of your peaks, and then once you've done that, then you're just going to insert your crochet hook in a stitch on the opposite side of your hole here. So right here. And then we're just going to yarn over and draw through all the loops on our crochet hook. And from here, we're going to cut and tie off our yarn. And I am going to hide this tail up the inside of my beanie. And please let me know in the comments below if you experienced any issues while you were making this, or if you were able to complete this project. If this video helped you, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to my channel, Lipstick on a Rig. Thank you so much for working with me, and I hope you have a wonderful, awesome day.